2021 to 2023. They face no criminal charges currently. Meanwhile, the New York Yankees are dealing with another injury. Second baseman Jazz Chisholm has been placed on the 10-day injured list as of today, 3 days after sustaining a right oblique strain on a swing against the Baltimore Orioles.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Welcome, everybody. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com. Happy Friday to everybody out there on a beautiful day. Mariners are back in business. It's a weird thing to have a day off from the Mariners. When they're playing well, I'm excited for today's game.
Yeah, it was cool. We were at the stadium, and everybody was all packing up and getting ready to leave. I think they left at 4:00. So they got a day off in Texas, and I was talking to Brad Adam. He's hitting the golf links.
Oh,
apparently.
yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Tough gig.
So, yeah, tough gig. But, yeah, it was I get spoiled, especially when they're on a streak like they are, winning 7 series in a row. You're like, come on, man, let's play every day.
Yeah. It's just, I look forward to those. I look forward to baseball anyway, but especially when they're rolling. Yeah. I just want to see it continue, and I'm excited for the pitching matchup. It's Wu versus Leiter tonight, or in this afternoon's game. We're going to turn you over to the pregame show coming up at 4 p.m. Before that, we'll talk with Adam Jude, who's out there on the road with him. He'll join us at 3 p.m. Gary Hill Jr., part of the broadcast, will join us at 3:30. And we've got Mean Text coming up at 3:45, so you don't have nearly as much time to get creative and hurtful as you normally do. So you're going to have to cram. You're going to have to get that going at 866-979-3776, powered by Mac and Jack's Brewing Company. That comes up at 3:45 today.
I was taking some strays yesterday.
Were you?
I'm like, hey, whoa, let's wait till Friday.
What did you do?
I don't know.
What did you do to upset everybody?
I was just being myself, Bob. Apparently people didn't like it.
Just annoying people with your normal self. Well, we'll see what they come up with today, but man, I'm excited to see Brian Wu out there. He's probably been their most dominant pitcher so far this season. I know it's early, and unfortunately Logan went down, and Kirby has yet to be there, and we've had some fill-ins, but between the pitchers that have been there through the whole season, Luis Castillo, now Brian Wu, and Bryce Miller, I would say the most consistent starter you've had has been Brian Wu, who I was very excited before. When we talked before the season, I was talking about just my excitement about his – he was dominant last year for good stretches, and I know he started late, but his stuff is electric, and it's such easy – it's such easy heat, as Cal likes to call it, easy cheese, but it's fun to watch him out there doing what he's doing. He's got a 3-1 record with a ERA just a shade over 3 at 3.09. So Jack Leiter going with the Rangers, 2-0, 2.03 ERA for him.
Yeah, and he's 4 of his 5 starts have been quality starts. And he's looked like that guy that, if you take the poll at, we're almost to the, we are in the beginning of May. Who's the ace? And Wu has made a case for that. No question about it. Now, of course, Logan is injured right now, but it's kind of nice. I mean, I think we're back to where everybody else is in the league. I mean, we're missing Kirby and Logan Gilbert, but you still got Wu, you got Miller, and Emerson Hancock has had back-to-back good outings. And
Luis Castillo, so you got him. It's pretty amazing what the Mariners are doing right now, considering the injuries. You just brought up, pitching. A little bit of good news. Shannon Dreyer tweeted out that Matt Brash is in the Mariners clubhouse in Texas. Maybe he gets activated at some point during the series. We'll find out, but he's there with the team, so that's good news.
Yeah.
And by all accounts, the news is positive on Kirby, and hopefully he'll be out on a rehab assignment soon and back in the thick of things. But to consider that they're missing Gilbert now, they have been missing Kirby. Haven't even seen him or Brash, Robles, Bliss, Rayleigh. I mean, you've been thrashed by injuries early. And here you are sitting on a 7 7-series winning streak. You've won 7 series in a row despite all of that. And Logan hasn't been hurt for all of it, but the other guys have been out, and Rayleigh's a new injury, but he hadn't been doing much at the plate. So it just, considering the attrition and what they've accomplished, it's pretty remarkable.
Well, and here's the thing, too. Julio not really being Julio. That's the other thing. I mean, what you're getting from the bottom of the order, and you're getting from certain players like Samad Taylor, laying down that bunt the other day. We talked about this yesterday, but I was driving in, and Rick Riz, the way he put it was like, if you could have rolled a ball in between the first baseman and the pitcher, you couldn't have put it in a better spot, just throwing it out there. And so, I mean, they're getting all kinds of support from different places. You had
Leo Rivas.
Rivas with the
Rivas has got a .513 on base percentage.
I saw that. It's amazing. Well, and then the other day, both the catchers, now Cal was DHing, but they got stolen bases. So, I mean, there's all kinds of ways to win a game, and they're finding ways to win games. So it's really been cool to watch that. And, just getting all kinds of help from people that you don't necessarily expect to contribute.
Well, and even the guys that, if you look at their average and go, they're not off to a good start, look at the on base. This team has been outstanding at working the pitcher, taking walks. I mean, you look at Randy Arozarena, for instance. He's had huge hits. He's had some big moments that have been game-winning moments. But overall, he's not hitting that well. He's hitting .208, right? But he's got a .359 on base. So he's taken his walks. He's got 21 walks on the season, .359 on base. And when he has come up with hits, they've been big. Feels like every one of them has been big. So, 5 home runs, 18 runs driven in, but the disparity between average and on base is pretty impressive for a number of these guys. He being one of the biggest examples of that. But you can go down the list and look at some of these on base percentages for low average. I mean, even Luke Rayleigh, who I was saying, he hasn't done much at the plate this year, .206. He's got a .345 on base.
Yeah.
Same is true for Mitch Garver. Mitch Garver, .217. He's got a .368 on base.
Yeah.
So these guys are, you want to see him hit. You want to see him do damage. You want to see him driving runs. But at least they're getting in a position to work the opposition, drive up that pitch count, get traffic on the base path, and hopefully get driven in by somebody who is a little hotter. But they're finding their way on base at a very high clip.
Yeah, the other thing, we brought this up yesterday, is that they're 9th worst as far as strikeouts go. I mean, they're striking out at a pretty good clip still, 268. It looks like Colorado's at 318. But, you look at on-base percentage, you mentioned, they're third best in Major League Baseball. And then same thing with slug, they're number 8. OPS, they're up in the top 10 at looks like number 5. So, that was one of the things we talked about last year about all of the strikeouts and kind of the Teoscar Hernandez thing, right? He strikes out a lot, but his OPS, his slug, his extra base hits, is a great number. And remember last year we were just like, man, if we could just be middle of the pack. Yeah. Well, right now they're top 5 in a couple of those categories. So, the offense has really just come alive, and it's just really been fun to watch.
No, it's been huge. It's been huge, and you got to give credit to Edgar and Seitzer, and I'm sure some of it in the case of Polanco and J.P. Crawford is about guys who just got healthy and were dealing with injuries that were much more impactful last season in a negative way than maybe that we knew, because some of these injuries we didn't find out until after the season. Some you heard whispers about, but they weren't guys that were out there going, I'm hurt, outside of Polanco just missing games and guys missing games. But, just the impact it had on their seasons last year. You're seeing 2 healthy guys out there. Now, I'm sure it helps having Edgar and Seitzer there as well, but I'm chalking their success more up to health because, Edgar and Seitzer have an impact, but if you're going to say, well, look what they're doing with Polanco, all right, well, what's happening with Rayleigh? What's happening with Julio? Why is it not? It's working with these guys, but not these guys. So, I want to be consistent in where we're giving credit, and I think they deserve credit. But in those 2 cases, I'm leaning a bit more on just, hey, for the most part, I know Polanco's still dealing with an injury, but it's not preventing him from hitting from the left side. And that's, it's been fun to watch. It's been amazing to watch, and maybe the most unexpected thing I could imagine is Polanco coming in here and just tearing it up the way that he has. And I didn't see anybody, when we talked about him being picked up and I was griping about it, I would raise my hand as the first one going, really? This was your acquisition, is to bring back the guy who face planted last year? That's your offseason acquisition? I didn't see anybody barking back, you wait, he's going to be great. I see a lot of it on social media now. A lot of, oh, well, everybody knew. No, everybody didn't know. Nobody knew he was going to do this.
Well, it's ridiculous what he's doing. We talked about this yesterday as well, but I think it's worth mentioning again, the fact that he's only got 9 strikeouts. 9 strikeouts. If you look at, the guys that are ahead of them, they're tied. It's Suarez, Judge, and Cal Raleigh are all tied for 10 home runs. All of those guys have 34, 28, 36 strikeouts. Same thing with Mike Trout, who has 9, as well as Polanco, 36 strikeouts there, but only 9. No. He is just dialed in. I would have never expected that. And, I would say I am not interested in seeing him play in the field at all right now.
You're not missing his glove.
No.
You're not missing his glove. You're saving the wear and tear on the repaired knee. We'll see what happens with his oblique or whatever he's got going on that's preventing him from hitting right-handed.
Yeah.
But right now, that's one I just don't mess with. You don't need his glove. You're not missing it. It's not like this guy was a key to our defense. No, frankly, it was the opposite. So this is kind of in a way, a silver lining to the injury, that they are not even contemplating throwing him out in the field. Let him hit and leave it there. Just a little bit of an update from Jerry DiPoto. I guess he was on MLB Network and was updating them on the status of Logan Gilbert and George Kirby.
We're hopeful that we're going to see both this month, which is, a little better than we had thought initially. And George starts his rehab assignment. We believe it's going to take at least 2 minor league starts, perhaps 3. Logan's going to be a little bit behind that, but we think they're both going to return sometime before the end of May if everything goes the way it's currently planned.
So another few weeks. What are we, May 2nd right now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So be a few weeks, but hopefully we didn't see Wu until May last year.
Right. May 10th.
So hopefully they can just hit the ground running once they come back up with the big club. They get done with the rehab assignments, and then you've got that rotation we were all dreaming of, that we were, pumping our chest about and talking about, the best 5 in baseball. So it'd be nice to have them together. Now, Jerry also went on to talk about feeling like this is a playoff team, but hoping the season ends better than the last 2 seasons.
We think this team is a playoff team, and our goal throughout, as we've built our model, is to be there year in, year out as a contending club. And, we've been right on the cusp, and hopefully this is the year we tip over.
Yeah, it better be. I mean, it better be. As fun as this is, it doesn't take the expectation away. This better be a playoff team, because I don't know the level of tolerance from the fan base if they miss it again by a game or 2 games, and the offense goes. I mean, who knows? There's so much of the season left. We'll see. I love what we're watching now, and we were talking before the show that there's a weird segment of the fan base that seems committed to their misery. They're fans, but like anytime during a game, I'll tweet something about, oh, what an amazing play by Crawford, or oh, there you go, JP, or there you go, Williamson, or whatever, just something positive. Oh, there you are, drinking the Kool-Aid again. Just wait. Bullpen's going to blow it. Just wait. They're going to be trailing the Rangers. I mean, it's just like, well, enjoy it while it's happening. That may happen. Those things may happen. But if that's your mindset throughout the entire season, why are you watching?
Yeah,
I don't get that.
Yeah, I don't either. And I think it's really, to me, everybody loves an underdog, right? And so when you get all of this this kind of production from guys that you normally don't count on, it's kind of cool. But I mean, you look at the injuries, and it's like, if you would have said at the beginning of the year, based on what we saw in spring training, what they did in the offseason, that you were going to have Gilbert and Kirby and Brash out, and then Robles, Bliss, and now Rayleigh.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you would have said,
and Dylan Moore.
Well, yeah, Demo, that's right. And you would have said, oh, this is not going to be a good team.
No.
And they're hot as can be right now. They're one of the hottest teams in Major League Baseball right now.
Yeah, it's and interestingly enough, the pitching is doing just enough, like Emerson Hancock, keeping him in games, and that's just been who he is. Give up a couple runs, give you a quality start, 6 innings, 3 runs or fewer. you'll take that every single day. But what's been different is just the output of the offense. And Jerry, in his interview with MLB Network, talked about that not being a big surprise to them and giving some credit to the new hitting staff.
It's not that new. It seems shocking to see us behind the Yankees, ahead of teams like the Cubs, Dodgers, etc. But this has been going on with our team since August 1st of last year, roughly. It's, with the staff changes we made, the presence of Edgar Martinez, bringing on Kevin Seitzer and Bobby Magianis, just a mindset change with roughly the same roster of hitters. And it really changed the way we converted opportunities to runs. We've always created opportunity with walks. We've always hit homers, but we've never been a very good team at making contact in those big clutch situations, runners on base, runners in scoring position. We've always fallen short. And right now we're converting.
Yeah, I think the coaching is kind of coming through a little bit because, and I'll just point out it's one thing, but I think it's significant. Rosarena with the throw out at the plate the other day, a perfect throw. Mm-hmm. And we weren't seeing that kind of stuff. I mean, you were seeing balls sprayed all over the place and, some not so great at bats. And now it just seems like, and Dan said this the other day, that they're understanding who they are. And I think that's really important, just to not to, you always hear about trying to do too much. Just be you. Be who you are. And I think, they're good enough to, if you have guys that are just doing all the little things,
Mm-hmm.
that I think all of that is starting to sink in, all of the coaching. And, you see guys just going out there. And Williamson, really, you asked me about the interview, Bob. He looks so confident on the field. Out there, that's in his realm. But we interviewed him the other day, and he was rightfully kind of terrified a little bit to do the interview. Just
I would be too, with you and Lefko staring me down.
Yeah, and then we had Justin Barnes was there, and he was filming him and everything. So I think he was a little intimidated in the beginning. But the thing that stood out to me is I'm looking at him, I'm going, you're a totally different player or person on the field. When
Right.
you're playing. I mean, yeah, it was his first kind of big interview, and I'm sure he's done a couple with Shannon and everything, but we put him in a corner, we had the camera there and everything, and he looked a little bit nervous, and I was just looking at him going, man, you have no reason to be nervous, number one, but secondly, it just stood out that he's just trusting his coaching, and he went on and on about Perry Hill, and so, yeah, I mean, I like to think that that's what it is. That it's Seitzer and Edgar and Dan finally they're starting to sort of absorb the information and being the team that they want to be.
Last year was much like the Seahawks and their linebackers when they went out and got Baker and
Dodson.
Yep. Where here's our new guys, and then halfway through the season, not even halfway, this isn't working. That's what it was with Jarrett DeHart and Brant Brown last year. They started the season with these guys. It was a convoluted message. The offense was terrible. They ended up both being shipped off. I mean, it was kind of similar to me, like, hey, we think we have our guys at the beginning of the season, then by the middle, they're going,
we don't have it.
This isn't it, right? So,
well, and that's the kind of thing, just not to make it back to football again, but, you've got a new coaching staff going on with the offense. So just in general, and that's just kind of the way it works out. Every once in a while, it just doesn't work out. I like to think since it's the second time around for both the Mariners and the Seahawks that they're going to get it right. But I think you're seeing evidence of that with the Mariners.
Yeah. It's fun to watch, man. I am having fun watching this team. I'm excited that there's a game today. Yesterday was a huge bummer. No baseball game to watch. I was watching some other games on MLB Network, but it wasn't the Mariners. So yeah, I'm all in. It's just fun to watch this team rolling. Hopefully they can keep. I feel good with Woo on the hill. Hopefully they keep things rolling with a struggling Rangers team.
Yeah,
hopefully they struggle a little longer.
Yeah, they're one of the coldest teams.
Yeah,
in Major League Baseball.
Let's keep them chilly. All right, let's take two.
The Los Angeles Angels have yet again placed their longtime superstar Mike Trout on the IL with a bone bruise on his knee.
That's a bummer. I mean, look, I'm not rooting for the Angels, obviously, by any stretch, but this is a guy who's been a generational talent in this game, and he's having such a weird year. He's up there amongst the leaders with home runs, but he's hitting $179, and he can't stay healthy. It's just amazing how he's been that guy who would post every year, and then all of a sudden it just feels like I'm looking at his since 2021, 36 games. then 119, then 82, then 29 last year, and 29 this year, and he's back on the IL. So it's going the wrong way. He's going to be 34 years old in August.
Well, I mean, I guess there's a part of me that would rather see him injure his knee than hit bombs in our ballpark.
I don't want to see that. Trust me, I'm not rooting for that at all. I like watching the great players play in this game.
Yeah,
and it's a bummer that he was such a top shelf elite. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer. As soon as he's done, he's a Hall of Famer, and he was for years the best player in all of baseball.
How did they not win there with him and Ohtani?
Just spent all their money in the wrong places, I guess.
The New York Mets are still in mourning after losing one of their biggest fans of the team, whose name is Seymour Wiener.
I'm unfamiliar with this guy.
He's a longtime Mets fan, originally a Brooklyn Dodgers fan, a war veteran himself, and the Mets actually had $1 hot dog nights with him holding up a hot dog as like the face of the whole night.
Do you like that when fans get notoriety? I mean, certainly you see some with the Seahawks, and I guess each town has their super fan attached to whether it's their football team, their baseball team, whatever it is. I'm always a little like, I want to acknowledge the super fan. I'm here to watch the team. I don't really care about the guy with the crazy costume. And
well, it just depends on what do they expect, and the guy that I think drafted, he called the draft pick for Oots. Robbie Oots. He's the guy that's the pilot, and he has like the Super Bowl ring on his head. Yeah.
What is his? Does he have a super fan name?
I don't know. But he's pretty cool. I've talked to him a couple of times.
Oh, I'm sure they're all nice people.
But I mean, he didn't. There was a couple of people with the Seahawks fans where they thought they were kind of the show.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, somebody was complaining that they didn't fly him out to the Super Bowl in New York and stuff like that. So, it just depends on their personality. But, I mean, you gotta love a fan like Seymour Wiener.
I mean, is that really his name?
I think his actual last name is Weiner, but it got picked up on social media when they posted about him, and everyone thought it was Wiener. So you can imagine the memes just going cascading. That's why they had a hot dog.
You said he's doing a promo with the hot dog. That's
Well, and the thing is, I mean, if your last name is Wiener, there's just no way you name him Seymour.
Well, apparently there is a way.
Well, then it must be Weiner.
Yeah.
Remember there was a guy named Todd Weiner, was a Seahawk for a while? He was from Kansas State, I think.
When was that?
Yeah. That was like in the late 90s, early 2000s. Yeah, he was like a first or second round pick. But, let's make sure that we call him Weiner. Okay.
Take Two is brought to you by Swedish Cyberknife. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Swedish.org/cyberknife prostate. We're getting the final edition of Dave's Draft Breakdowns, where he evaluates the Seahawks' final 5 picks from this year's draft. You're going to get that coming up next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Brock and Salk.
Straight from Pierre, South Dakota, Brock. Gray, good morning. How are we feeling today?
Super excited to be a part of the Seahawks and the team that they do.
Are you still growing? Could we see a bigger Gray Zabel at some point?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, big thing about gaining weight is just steaks and squats. That's all you got to do to put on some pounds.
Steaks and squats. Well, and you could go from Bush Light to Butt Heavy if you need to.
Yeah, exactly. A few extra carbs.
Brock and Salk. Morning 6 to 10 on Seattle Sports. The app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Hey, Brock Ewart here, along with IRG Physical and Hand Therapy President and CEO Shannon O'Kelly. The weather is warming. The sports are moving outdoors, Shannon. Maybe time to take care of that lawn and pull the old lawnmower out. Is it a time where you get a little busier as the weather warms?
Oh, absolutely, Brock. What we know, particularly in the Puget Sound, we have these cold, wet winters. The weather changes, the sun comes out, and everybody wants to rush outside and do things. And I'm telling you, that's great, but you got to take time, listen to your body. You got to prepare your body for those activities. You don't want to go too fast, too soon. So warm up, stretch, make sure you have flexibility, a little bit of conditioning, because if you're conditioned and ready and prepared, those activities outside are going to be so much funner, if that makes sense. You're an athlete yourself, Brock. You know how important warming up is.
No, I like funner. I think they would tell you more fun, but I kind of like funner, and that's exactly what IRG is. For more info or to book your appointment today, simply go to irgpt.com. Remember, that's irgpt.com.
Did you know that your windows and doors are your main source of energy loss? At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, our windows with triple weather stripping and gasket seals are up to 25% more efficient than Energy Star standards. LakeWashingtonWindows.com, a name you can trust.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-371-0505. 800-371-0505.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey Cougs, Michael Bumpus here, inviting all WSU alumni and friends to the Cougs First Show and Career Expo, Friday, May 9th at the Maidenbauer Center in Bellevue. For education, networking, jobs, and Cougs swag. It's free to attend and all are welcome. Register at cougsfirst.org.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
At Shane Company, we love a spring engagement, but you might be wondering, how do I find the perfect engagement ring? As a trusted family jeweler since 1929, we get asked this a lot. We have a wide selection of ring settings, like vintage designs with romantic details, floral settings inspired by nature, and classic styles with clean lines and sleek metals. Dreaming of the most beautiful diamond you've ever seen? At Shane Company, we handpick only the sparkliest center stones in all shapes and sizes, from oval to round to marquise, and more. We have gorgeous natural and lab-grown diamonds at competitive prices, in-store, ready to compare side by side. Drawn to certain colors? We're known for our rainbow of vivid natural sapphires, including shades of blue, straight out of a fairy tale, handpicked by our owner, Tom Shane. At Shane Company, we have the best free lifetime warranty that includes the center stone, plus resizing, repairs, and cleanings for life. Visit us at shaneco.com or in store. No appointment necessary. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Coming up at 4 p.m., we are going to turn you over to the Mariners pregame show. They're in Texas for game 1 of their 3-game series with the Texas Rangers. So before that, we got a lot of work to accomplish. Adam Jude will join us at 3 p.m., Gary Hill at 3:30, and Mean Tex coming up at 3:45. So stay tuned for all of that. Meanwhile, Dave's been going through and breaking down the game tape, taking a deep dive. Doomsday's Dave's deep dive into the draft is what we've been calling it.
The 5 Ds? Is that how many Ds are there?
And we're down to the final 5 picks. You've been going through one by one and just talking about what your takeaway has been. So let's start with a guy we spoke with the other day, Robbie Oots, who's been listed as a tight end, as a wide receiver, and a fullback. 5th round pick.
Yeah, and he was announced at the draft as a running back, and we asked him about it, and he's like, I don't know why they did that.
He's a center, he's a quarterback, he's been listed as everything, but I think he's a fullback essentially, right?
Yes. Well, they're going to make him a fullback. He was a tight end at Alabama, and so he was the 5th rounder at number 175. He had 16 catches for 192 yards and a couple touchdowns, 3 touchdowns actually, but he's a guy who is 6'4", 270 pounds, and
he's a big dude.
He is a big dude, and the thing is he can move, because if you look around the league, and the guy that I was kind of looking to compare him to was the fullback that the Ravens have, that Patrick Ricard kid.
Yeah,
and he's the guy called the Fat Kid. But yeah, he's like 6'3", 300 pounds. But I mean, you look at Robbie Oots, he's pretty close to that. And he's really athletic for his size. If you watch him, with the ball in his hand, and so I think that'll be really interesting to see him play at fullback, and then obviously with his tight end background, he can be a backup there, and they can put him in all kinds of different positions. I'll be really interested to see how they use him, and I feel like this is a guy who, even though he's a 5th rounder and he's a rookie, he might get a chance to get some playing time.
Yeah, I mean, if they're going to commit to a fullback, and we heard Brady Russell has been converted from a tight end to a fullback, we'll see what the competition is between these two. But the idea that they're looking to establish a fullback and get that running game going is pretty interesting. I'd be curious to see what that looks like. But 6'4", 270, that is a large dude.
Yeah, it is. And especially, and he's not like super fast. He ran a 4.91, but, he's pretty explosive. And he played 51 games at Alabama. So, I mean, just coming out of that program, it's really good. But, I was just looking at Ricard, and I'm like, yeah, that guy's not exactly, light on his feet or anything. So, I think he's more athletic.
They don't need to be delicate.
No.
All right, let's move on to a no lineman they picked up in the 6th round, Bryce Cabledew, number 192 overall out of Kansas.
Yeah, he played another guy who played 50 games while he was at Kansas. He's 6'6", 315 pounds, and he's one of those kind of combine heroes. John said he was 30-30-30, so he had a 30-inch vertical leap. He got 30 on the bench as far as the 225, and then he scored over 30 on the Wonderlic. So that's just kind of a standard that they have. He's really athletic for somebody, that
is that at the top of the height range you'd want to see? Because you've talked about like Stone Forsythe being too tall and guys getting underneath him.
Yeah,
very few have been over 6'5", 6'6", and been it like Jonathan Ogden's one of the rare examples.
He was 6'8", wasn't he?
Something 6'7", 6'8". Yeah, but typically you feel like, all right, there's being too tall.
No, I think you're right. I mean, I wouldn't want to see him at 6'8".
Yeah,
I mean, it's just harder. It's just more difficult, and that's the thing. The low man wins. So the other thing I saw about him, Bob, he got beat on a first move a couple of times. There was no panic there. He recovers really well and just kind of like, okay, I'll just step back and block him up. So there was a couple of times where he got beat off the edge with like a speed rush initially, but then you look at his recovery and it was pretty good. So, but I mean, look, he's drafted what?
6th round.
6th round. I mean, he's going to be probably a project type of guy. And same with the next, it's not the next guy, but down the list here in a second, we'll talk about Mason Richmond.
Before him, let's get to the running back. Damian Martinez out of Miami and Oregon State, 6th round pick. Another running back.
Yeah.
Does this mean McIntosh has got his work cut out for him to stay on the roster? He's a guy I feel like has a mini fan club going, why? Give him more opportunities.
I'm glad you brought that up because that's exactly what I talked about when I did my video, is that I thought of Kenny McIntosh because at first we thought Kenny, maybe it was a problem with Pete Carroll, but then he didn't play very much last year. He didn't get very many carries. So, yeah, I mean, this guy I think will push him for the number 3 running back position. He had 26 touchdowns, and he was at Oregon State, and then he ended up at Miami. But he's like a 4.5 guy as far as his speed goes. But if you look at him, I heard somebody call him a poor man's Marshawn Lynch. So I mean, yeah, he's drafted in the 7th round. I mean, a poor man's Marshawn Lynch. You'll take that. That's I mean, if Marshawn is a 5-star, this kid's a 4-star. But he is, he's one of those guys. Every once in a while, he doesn't subscribe to the idea that, okay, you're coming to tackle me and I'm going to go down to the ground.
Right.
No. I mean,
he's not making that agreement.
Yeah, there's no agreement there. So it's a mindset, really. And, they do those angry runs on NFL Network. I know you don't like the guy that does those, but he's kind of obnoxious. But he did an angry run edition as far for the draft, and Damian Martinez ended up on it. So, he's a guy that just will not surrender.
Yeah. All right. So another running back in the room. We'll see how that shakes out. Back to the O-line. Mason Richmond, a guard out of Iowa, 7th-round pick. What'd you see out of him?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to find film on him, but he played at Iowa, 6'6", 312 pounds, again, at the upper end of where you want him. But one of the things John told me about him is that he gave up 7 pressures his senior year. So 0 sacks. Did not give up a sack. And so there were some pressures, but only 7 of them. And, and he played in 55 games at Iowa, in total. But, he played a full schedule and did not give up a sack. So, again, one of those guys, kind of like Michael Jarrell, that you're like, okay, this is a project guy.
Right.
So they end up, drafting 3 offensive linemen? So... yeah, and actually they have him, Mason Richmond, listed at guard. So, we'll see. But, it was I think it's a good project drafting a guy like that. I was glad they did that in the 7th round because after they got Gray Zabel, I'm like, okay, we still need a couple 3 more.
Couple 3, yeah. All right, last one, Ricky White III, wide receiver out of UNLV, 7th-round pick.
Yeah, number 238 is the pick. I'll tell you what, this guy, you don't usually talk. It's not that obvious to see who is going to play on special teams. This dude blocked 4 punts last year. 4 punts. So one of them got recovered for a safety against Hawaii. One of them was recovered for a touchdown. And then he also recovered a blocked punt. And then he made a tackle on a fake punt against San Diego State. So this guy's a special teams wizard. I mean, he's listed as and he's a really good pass catcher. I mean, I saw him catch one in the corner of the end zone, and he goes smashing into the wall and holds onto the ball, and he got 2 feet down. So a lot of times you see these receivers getting 1 foot down. You're like, well, that doesn't work at the next level, but he got 2 down, and he led the Mountain West in yardage his junior year with 1,483 yards and receptions, 24 touchdowns throughout his career. But this is a guy that you can put certainly on the punt block team.
Yeah.
know, 4 blocked punts. Incredible.
There you go. Dave's deep dive into the draft. Doomsday Dave, that is. Meanwhile, Gray Zabel, their 1st-round pick, the Seahawks' 1st-round pick, had his introductory press conference yesterday. What did he have to say? We'll let you hear a few bites of Gray Zabel. Coming your way next with Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Brock and Salk, morning 6 to 10.
Jeff Passan of ESPN, who joins us.
Where is Cal in the pantheon of the best catchers in baseball right now?
I think he's at the top of the list, right? I mean, just at this point, I'm not sure who else is there. What we're seeing, though, is the guy who the Mariners gave $100 million guaranteed to.
Brock and Salk, morning 6 to 10 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Heading to the ball game? Don't mess with traffic and pricey parking fees. Make it easy and ride the bus. It's affordable and convenient. No stress, no hassle, and plenty of time to grab a hot dog before first pitch. Community Transit makes riding the bus fun, easy, and affordable. You save money on parking, and kids under 18 ride for free. See where they can take you and plan your trip with Community Transit today at ctgo.org/homerun. ctgo.org/homerun.
Mike Salk here, and luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel, where comfort meets elegance. And this summer, you can experience the breathtaking Cascade views, the world-class dining and entertainment, and elevate your next getaway by combining effortless style with the utmost relaxation. Plus, Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel's award-winning outdoor summer concert series is back with amazing artists like Hanson, Austin Jenks, Melanie Fiona, and POD. This summer, overlooking the beautiful Snoqualmie Valley, snocasino.com for tickets. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out collection letters, garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it even harder to get out of debt. Don't let tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in taxpayer assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Let them fight on your behalf, helping to put your tax problems to rest. Call the tax professionals at Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
As America's leading business lender, Bank of America is on your corner and in your corner, right here in Seattle. With $215 billion in business loans and over 3,700 business specialists across the nation, we help businesses thrive so communities prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
4 down territory, going inside the game with Michael Bumpus.
I like this. More quarterbacks should start doing this.
Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
Progressive knows when you're in your RV, you're already on vacation. That's when you become Vacation You, who just camped where there's absolutely no shade. Even though regular you burns easily. In fact, Vacation You burns too, but is too stubborn to admit it, which is why regular you gets in trouble at the dermatologist, because Vacation You doesn't do doctors. So bundle your RV with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Well, this week's First Mark Challenge victory is a little different. We actually reach out to the small business world, to Joel Taylor and Sean O'Donnell from Sean O'Donnell's Restaurants. Sean, when Joel brought this to you, the idea of why don't we take this First Mark Challenge victory, what was your thought?
My goal was to save some money and to simplify our operations. We've got 6 locations now, and along with that comes complications. And when things get complicated, things that are important get forgotten. First Mark was able to simplify that and also save us money.
Not only have they saved us money, they helped us identify some blind spots in our policies. Their service team has been phenomenal, unparalleled in my experience, given us a lot more solutions with better coverage, and just made too much sense.
First Mark's just made it easy for us.
So if you're a business owner and your insurance is in need of simplifying and streamlining and eliminate the stress, do what Sean O'Donnell's restaurants did. Reach out to First Mark Insurance. Just go to firstmarkinsurance.com. First Mark Insurance, your teammate in the business world too. Going to work for you.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Coming up at 3 o'clock, Adam Jude of the Seattle Times will join us, talk some Mariner baseball. Meanwhile, Gray Zabel, the first-round pick of your Seattle Seahawks, had his introductory press conference yesterday and has had a few different things that were interesting to hear from him. If you guys missed any part of that, we'll play a few cuts here for you. First of all, says he's a guy out there who's a little chatty, a little bit of a talker on the field.
A little bit. I mean, offensive line, you can't score. You can't catch a pass. You can't do any of that. So when you block a guy extremely well, sometimes you got to let him know. And I think that's the fun and joy of playing offensive line. But at the same time, you got to stay humble in your ability.
You got to let him know you blocked him well.
Yeah, I didn't expect that.
Did you ever have O-linemen talking smack to you if they put you on your backside or blocked you well?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I used to go back and forth with actually, he showed up quite a bit in the draft. Steve Wisniewski.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And I remember one of the things I think was kind of that one was pretty good. He one time, I think I missed a tackle, and he goes, hey, it helps if you open your eyes. I was like, shut up, you bleepity, bleep, bleep, bleep. And he never swore. That's the other thing about it.
Oh, he's like Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, and it just irritated me for some reason.
Use a curse word. Come on.
But no, that's funny to hear from Gray Zabel. I mean, I think, I don't know, we're getting to know this guy. I mean, at first you just kind of look at him as general appearance, kind of cool with the mustache. I don't mind.
It's just funny that there's so much excitement about a guard. Just speaks to how problematic the O-line has been that we're celebrating a guard, and it's just
well, especially when you compare him to Steve Hutchinson.
Right.
Because Hutch was just, that offensive line was so unbelievably good.
Yeah. He talked about it being exciting to be drafted with a quarterback in the same class and, how they can develop together.
Absolutely. To learn the offense with him, if I have any questions or kind of concerns with anything, to have a guy to be able to bounce it off of and understand the offense, like I said, is going to be super important, and it's going to be super impactful for our careers moving forward.
Obviously, talking about Jalen Milroe. Yeah. But yeah, that would be cool to watch them hopefully develop together. He was asked what he thinks it's going to be like for the first time on the field in his NFL jersey this weekend. You got rookie minicamp happening.
It's going to be surreal. To wear the Seahawks logo on your chest has been kind of a dream. Super excited. Anytime you get to tie the cleats up and hit the grass, you got to be grateful. It's a get-to mentality, not have-to mentality. So I get to go practice tomorrow and show up to one of the best jobs you could possibly have.
What was that like for you, Dave? First time you walked in the locker room and you saw your jersey with your name on the back of it hanging up there?
I was like Ben Williamson, crapped my pants.
Yeah. I mean, even rookie minicamp where you just like, oh, my God.
Well, I just remember thinking, okay, I'm just going to shut my mouth. I'm not going to say a thing.
But just seeing your gear up there, I don't know if they had it all set out for you. There's your helmet. There's your jersey with your name. Was like, I can't believe it. I'm wearing an NFL jersey.
Yeah, I guess I was so nervous that I didn't take that in, and I probably should have. And it sounds like he's doing it the right way. That's really cool to hear from him. But
do you remember your first practice?
I remember my welcome to the NFL moment. It was a one-on-one. Gosh, what was his name? His first name was Alvin. I can't remember his last name, but he was a huge guard. He was like 320 pounds. Mm-hmm. Like, we used to play San Jose State every year, and I remember their center was 245 pounds. I just abused him. And then now this guy, it comes, and I was like, oh my. Oh my God, I want to run home to mama right now.
That was practice. That was rookie minicamp.
Yeah. So I mean, that there were a few moments like that. I just remember being pretty terrified. I was really nervous about it, and just this is the
makes
big
sense.
Next level, man.
But it's got to be kind of cool. You're surrounded by rookies. You're all going through the same thing together, right? So there's got to be something cool about that, rather than you being dropped into the middle of a group of veterans and, all right, Rook, get over here, do this, and maybe I would assume that make the transition easier.
Yeah, you definitely form a bond with your draft class. I remember Cortez Kennedy, Robert Blackman, Chris Warren, and Terry Wooden. And they were the 1990 draft, and those guys really had a really strong click. But I think for my group, the only one I think that made it, well, there was a punter, Ruben Rodriguez, so we weren't super tight or anything. But
well, he knew you didn't consider him a football player.
But Tony Woods was the number one pick, and
Moyer was before you.
Yeah, Moyer was like 3 years before me. He played in the '84. Moyer's old.
He's an old fella. Okay.
But I love the whole thing, the attachment to Milroe. That's really cool that those two guys could possibly be playing together at some point.
Well, he saved the best for last year and the most important question. And he was asked whether he'd be willing to switch from Busch Light to Rainier beer.
Just kind of depends. I haven't tried it yet. I know that's a huge brand up here in the Pacific Northwest. So hopefully if we have good OTAs, we can maybe try a few.
Yeah, he talked about Busch Light, which I promptly went across the street after the draft and got a 6-pack of Busch Light
in honor of him.
Very refreshing, Paul.
Yeah,
Very
you liked
refreshing. But I'll tell you what.
Was it cheap?
It's not better than Rainier.
It's not?
No. Rainier's really a good, solid beer. I love Rainier. Yeah. I hope he becomes a Rainier guy.
But those are pretty inexpensive brands, right?
Yeah, Rainier's not like, some of the, like Sapporo or some of the other, expensive brands. But remember their commercials? Remember the motorcycle?
Oh, yeah. Rainier beer. Yeah. Those are great. That and I always thought Busch Light was like, what's that other one that everybody that's really Schmitz, right? Isn't that really cheap beer?
Oh, Schlitz?
No, isn't there a Schmitz beer? It's like really cheap.
These two young
like
guys.
Natty Light, Rolling Rock.
I know that. I thought there was somebody will text
Rolling
it in.
Rock.
I thought Schmitz was a brand, but
I'm
not a beer drinker.
When I was in college, we actually got the generic beer.
Just beer?
It just says beer on it. the worst hangover I've ever had.
Did it taste
awful.
Funky?
Just terrible.
Does this taste like it's cheap? Like it's something's missing?
Yeah, Busch Light, I'll say it doesn't taste cheap, but I would say of like the second tier beers, Rainier is probably my favorite.
Okay. Yeah. Somebody's saying yes, Schmitz. There is a Schmitz.
Schmitz. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember Schlitz.
Schlitz malt liquor, right?
Remember Olympia beer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
That's an old brand, but I love that he's like, well, maybe if we have a good couple of good mini camp, we can have a couple of those.
Yeah, Schmitz beer was real. Not sure if it's around still, says the 253. Okay, so I got that. Anyway, hey, if you missed any of our show or you just want to go watch things over again, you can check out our Wyman and Bob channel on the Seattle Sports YouTube page. You can search for Seattle Sports on all social media platforms: Instagram, X, Blue Sky, Threads, Facebook. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. You can find segments like our conversations with Seahawks players, Mariners players, all of it's right there for you. Meanwhile, Mariners getting back to business against the Texas Rangers. A man on the scene covering the Mariners for the Seattle Times, Adam Jude, is going to join us next. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Brock and Salk.
Straight from Pierre, South Dakota, Brock. Gray, good morning. How are we feeling today?
Super excited to be a part of the Seahawks and the team that they do.
Are you still growing? Could we see a bigger Gray Zabel at some point?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the big thing about gaining weight is just steaks and squats. That's all you got to do to put on pounds.
Steaks and squats. Well, and you could go from Busch Light to Bud Heavy if you need to.
Yeah, exactly. A few extra carbs.
Brock and Salk, morning 6 to 10 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Varian Industrial Contractors reminds parents the fatal crash rate for teens peaks at age 19, and we lose nearly 8 kids every day. Please make a family agreement to never drive under the influence of alcohol or drugs, text behind the wheel, or ride with anyone who is. Always designate a sober driver or call a parent, and let's bring our sons and daughters home safely. The entire team at Varian Industrial Contractors reminds teens driving a 2-ton automobile can be dangerous, so please stay alert, responsible, and safe behind the wheel.
You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Superior Linen Service, 98 years providing logoed apparel, uniforms, floor mats, linens, and more. Give us a call. We answer the phone. Superior Linen Service. Visit suplinen.com.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
Lake Washington Windows and Doors makes it easy to enjoy new windows with clean glass technology now and defer paying for them until 2026 with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 12 months. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com.
Underestimating the trucking industry is one of the biggest mistakes I see victims and other lawyers make. Trucking companies have an army of lawyers and experts who act quickly after an accident to protect the company. Only an experienced trucking accident lawyer can navigate the complicated federal and state laws to protect your rights. If you or a loved one has been injured in a trucking accident, call Davis Law Group today for a free consultation or get my free book on trucking accident law at washingtonaccidentbooks.com.
The Mariners are back in action at T-Mobile Park, and you can be there for big moments all summer long with a Flex membership. Flex plans are perfect for fans who want the freedom to choose their games and seats as they go, while still enjoying all the perks of being a member, like saving 10% or more on tickets with no fees, unlocking access to exclusive pre-sales and year-round discounts, and so much more. Join the squad today at mariners.com/flex.
Now Raleigh wins it in the 10th inning for the Mariners.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to goodrx.com/GLP. That's goodrx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Did you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Secret Clinical Dominating Extra Stinky Stress Sweat. And this is regular deodorant. Secret Clinical in a heat wave. Oh, what a beautiful day. This is regular deodorant. Ugh, I can't. Secret Clinical with workout sweat. Let's run another marathon. And regular deodorant. How much more? Secret is the GOAT because nothing fights sweat better. Stay fresher under pressure.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Well, Basketball Hall of Famer Greg Popovich will no longer coach the San Antonio Spurs and is transitioning to a full-time role as the team's president of basketball operations. The team making that announcement today. Mitch Johnson, who was named acting head coach after Popovich suffered a mild stroke in November, now takes over head coaching duties on a permanent basis. Popovich had been involved with the team and present at San Antonio's facilities in recent days and will continue to be a vital member of the franchise's day-to-day operations. Meanwhile, Mariners getting back to it tonight. Game one of their 3-game series against the Texas Rangers in Texas. They send Brian Wu to the hill. You can hear every bit of that beginning at 4 p.m. with the pregame show right here, Seattle Sports on 710. And just one game going on right now. In fact, it's not going on. It's in the weather delay out in Cincinnati. Top of the first inning, Nationals and Reds. No score in that one.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Mariners and Rangers getting together in Texas. Game one of their series with the Rangers. Brian Wu will be on the hill again. We'll turn you over to the pregame show coming up at 4 o'clock, but we get a chance to speak to our buddy who's on the scene out there. He does a great job covering the team for the Seattle Times. Adam Jude is with us. Adam, how are you, man?
What's up, fellas? I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's good to talk to you as always, and I was telling Dave that, it was a bummer yesterday. No game. It just when the team's rolling like they are, with 7 series wins in a row, you're like, all right, give me more, and they had a much needed day off. But give me your feeling about this team, Adam. In that we were talking about the injuries that they've got with Logan and with Kirby and with Brash, who I know is there with the team, but still hasn't pitched yet. Robles, Luke Raley, Ryan Bliss, Dylan Moore. I mean, the list is getting long, yet they're continuing to win. How realistic is it to expect them to continue with what they've been able to do absent those guys?
Yeah, it's a great question, Bob, and it's the real question kind of lingering over this team right now. My impression, my thought, at least leaving spring training with no George Kirby, no Matt Brash, was just sort of like, okay, you're going to try to survive, the first 6 weeks or so, just hovering around 500, right? You're just trying to not get out of it, right? Not lose a ton of ground in the AL West. Just kind of hang tight. Hey, just kind of keep afloat. And they've done way better than that. And the good news is, like you said, Matt Brash is here in Texas with the team. I'm expecting he'll probably get activated sometime in the next couple of days. George Kirby, I think, is set for his first rehab start here in the next few days. That's not official yet, but that's all signs are pointing towards that. But then, you have the Logan Gilbert. Obviously, injury news was pretty devastating for these guys. We'll find out. We don't really have any concrete update on that yet. But the fact that they've been able to do this and not only kind of hang tight here, they're really thriving offensively, right? And it's not just the big name guys either. It's that bottom of the lineup guys. A lot of us, a lot of average Mariner fans have probably never even heard before. You got Leo Rivas, Miles Mastrobuoni. We're going to see another new guy, Ryland Thomas, and making his major league debut tonight in right field. I mean, just keep throwing. Doesn't matter who they put in the bottom line. It seems like those guys are grinding, getting on base, and getting the job done. And obviously, they're going to need more from those guys because Luke Raley's not coming back anytime soon. Victor Robles is not coming back anytime soon. I know the Mariners have been kind of looking around at other rosters and other AAA rosters throughout the league, trying to see if they can get some reinforcements, some depth pieces for the outfield. And I don't think anything's sticking just yet. So I think we're going to see more of those guys and getting a real runway here to kind of prove themselves.
Well, Adam, do you get the sense, based on the way the coaching is going right now and everything, that it's sustainable? Because I kind of feel like, come on, Rivas can't continue to, 513
on base.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's just sort of the negative side coming out in me, but. Do you think they've turned a corner, or is it just kind of like, wow, this is a great sort of confluence of everybody, coming together at the right time, and that maybe they're gonna run out of luck here soon?
Yeah, again, it's a great question, and it's something that's just we're not gonna know until they can kind of prove this over 2, 3, 4, 6 months, right, over the long haul. that's the beauty of baseball, right? You can do it for a couple weeks, you can do it for a month, but can you do it over the course of 162? No, Leo Rivas is not going to get on base at a 500 clip. Jorge Polanco is not going to be OPSing 1,200 for the entire season. At the same time, Julio Rodriguez still hasn't gotten going yet. Randy Rosarena, I think, has been pretty underrated, frankly. He's come up more than anything in some really clutch moments here, but he's going to hit more than, 210 the rest of the year. Those guys are just too good to kind of be down for this long. We know the Julio story at this point. He's just a notorious slow starter. I think when the weather heats up, so does Julio. I think he's kind of proven that in his first 3 years. Yes, we still see kind of a lot of the same frustrating swing and miss stuff in his profile, and you would have liked to have seen a guy in his fourth year sort of make some of those adjustments in terms of swing decisions and his chase and all that kind of stuff. But frankly, this is the best April he's ever had. He's right around 680 OPS, which again for him at this stage of the season is pretty good. So I think there are some signs that Julio can potentially break through a little bit earlier than he has in the past. But we'll see. It is kind of a patchwork rotation at this point, a patchwork lineup. How much longer can they do it? How many more injuries can they sustain? The huge questions lingering over these guys. At the same time, I look out the field right now. There's a Texas team that's really beat up right now. They've really underperformed. Houston isn't the world beaters that they've been. The A's are a surprising story, yes, but to me, I look at the Mariners right now. They're in first place by 2 games, and to me, that's where they should be. This is the best team in the AL West, and I think they have a chance to be there throughout the whole season.
Well, you bring up that Julio is he is a slow starter. That's been his story. He seems like he's kind of quietly starting to find it. When you look at his game log, Adam, he's got a 4-game hitting streak right now. He's got at least 1 hit in 9 of the last 10 games. So he's kind of consistently, now he's not doing damage. He's got 1 home run in that time, but he's kind of quietly starting to put it together. Do you see any differences in his approach up there, or does it look like, hey, you know what? It's not loud, but he's kind of quietly becoming a little bit more consistent in terms of at least a hit a game in 9 of the last 10.
Yeah, I would say it has been loud, actually. The problem is he's hitting the ball harder than ever. It's just on the ground a lot, right? It's something he's kind of fallen into in the past. To me, I just feel like we've seen so many, he'll lead off a game and it's a first pitch fastball and he hits a 1-hopper at, 99 miles an hour to the shortstop for kind of an easy out. But he is hitting the ball hard. You want him swinging at strikes in the zone. He hit that one off the foul pole last week at home. Yes, there are some encouraging signs there, I would say, with Julio. The one thing he has been doing is swinging and missing on pitches in the zone a lot, which is not something he's done a ton of in the past. And so I don't think that's a sign of just like a skill regression or something. I think that's just an early season. He doesn't quite have his timing down. He's been late on some fastballs. And again, to me, Julio's just too good to continue to miss fastballs in the zone. Eventually, he's going to get his timing down. He's going to, relax in the box a little bit. That's the one thing with him the past couple of years. It just seems like he's overthinking sometimes. He's tinkering with his hands and with his setup too much. And that's the one thing that I think Edgar Martinez really got through to him at the end of last year. So like, hey, man, just clear your head. Just get in there and compete. You're an amazing athlete. Just get in the box and compete. And I have seen more signs of that this year. Whether he can, again, do that consistently obviously remains an open question.
Hey, Adam, tell us what you know about Ryland Thomas, a left-handed hitter, right fielder, and, part of sort of some of the patchwork that they're doing here. What do you know about Ryland Thomas? Yeah,
not a whole lot. It was kind of a minor acquisition last year, a minor leaguer from the Mets, the team that had drafted him out of USC. He's kind of, more of a line drive spray hitter type. He's not very big, kind of more of a slap hitter, but he's off to a great start in Tacoma this year. I think he's hitting like 320 or something. And so obviously, if you're a depth piece and you're performing a little bit in AAA, you have, you're down to your 4th string right fielder at this point, you're going to get a shot. So I'm curious to see what he looks like here when he gets this, first big league opportunity today. Left-handed hitter. He's facing a hard-throwing right-hander in Jack Leiter with the Rangers tonight. So we'll find out. We'll find out here pretty quick. But I think the encouraging news too, we haven't mentioned Dylan Moore's name yet, but he is on this trip as well. And I think he's fully expecting to be activated when the team gets to Sacramento. I think on the second day of the second game in Sacramento, he's eligible to come off. And I think he's feeling well enough already that he'll be able to get right back out there. He just kind of needed a week and a half to sort of make sure he wasn't flaring up his hip issue and making it worse. And so obviously Demo was a big part of their success in April. And I think that's good news for the Mariners, obviously, that he'll be back with just a minimum stay on the IL.
Adam, how much credit do you give to Edgar and Kevin Seitzer for what we're seeing out of Polanco and Crawford? I mean, you brought up Polanco, who's hitting 384 with a 418 on base, and J.P. Crawford has just been absolutely on fire, 289, 423 on base. Do you lean toward them, or do you say, well, those are just two guys that were dealing with injuries that were maybe more substantial than we thought last year, and we're seeing healthier versions of them? I know Polanco's still dealing with some level of injury, but how do you divide up the credit, if you will, for what we're seeing from those guys?
Yeah, it's obviously a little bit of all that. I do think people kind of overlooked just what J.P. Crawford went through last year. I mean, he had a real oblique injury at this time last year. I think it was late April. He was out for a full month, 6 weeks almost, and that's probably the worst injury you can have as a hitter, right, is your oblique. We hear that a lot with baseball players, and that's what Luke Raley is going through right now. And then he got hit in the hand, late in the summer and broke his hand, just got hit by a fastball. I remember I could hear that clearly up from even the press box and knew right away, like, that's not good. That's not what you want to hear. So JP, yes, he struggled last year. When he was healthy, he didn't produce at the rate that he expected to. But when you have two major injuries like that, it's obviously a huge factor. And then Polanco, too. I don't think any of us realized at the time. We knew he was battling a knee thing, but I don't think anyone quite realized just how serious. So obviously getting both those guys healthy. They're hitting 1-2 in the lineup tonight. Just their on base has just been incredible, and I think we can say that virtually for all the guys up and down the lineup. But there's no doubt about it. Edgar and Kevin Seitzer have had a huge influence here. Again, you talked to JP about it. He just feels free stepping in the box now. It's like I was talking about with Julio earlier. It's like, guys, yes, it's important to have your mechanics all in line and your great setup, and you want to be in sync and all that. But at the end of the day, this guy's throwing 98 coming at you, and you're just got to get in the box and compete. You can't be thinking about all that stuff. Clear your head, go in there, swing it pitches in the zone and try to do some damage. If not, take your walks. And Mariners are leading the league in walks right now. And they're top three, I think, in home runs, number one in the American League in steals. So it's not just one thing they're doing. They're doing a little bit of everything, and they're doing a lot of things pretty well right now. So if you're kind of a glass half full, if you want to look at it, what is sustainable? Well, it's not just one thing. They're not, just slugging a bunch of 3-run home runs every night. They're finding ways to scratch out some runs and wait for, to get deep into a bullpen, as we saw the other day with the Angels, like, tie game. Well, the Mariners are going to do some damage against the bullpen once you kind of get to the back end. And there's just a lot of ways that they're doing it right now. It's like I said, if you're a Mariners fan, you want to kind of see a glass half full. Like, it's possible that this is real right now. They can be one of the best offenses in the American League throughout the season.
Is that Victor Robles screaming in the background there?
A lot of people walking by. Sorry, I'm
okay.
in the hallway here, and I didn't want to be on the field with the loud music and all that too. So not too many quiet places here pregame at the ballpark. Yeah.
He was in the clubhouse the other day, and he has his arm in that big sling and everything, and he brought a broom into the press conference and stuff. He's just seems like he's always having fun. But I'd forgotten he didn't have surgery, right? So.
Correct.
So what do you think about him? I mean, do you think he could possibly be back, sooner than they think? I know he's on the 60-day, but what have you? Any updates on him and his injury?
Nothing specific, no. With something like that, it needs to heal, right? Especially with a shoulder and a ball player, it just needs to heal. I don't think it's realistic for the Mariners to expect him back before the All-Star break. So I think that's the goal, is try to hang tight in right field, let Raley heal up and get rested, and make do with what they got in right field until the second half of the season. Unfortunately for the Mariners, that's just kind of where they're at right now.
Hey, Adam, before we let you go, I want to get a quick thought from you on the rotation, just from the guys that are still there healthy, unfortunately, talking about Luis Castillo, Brian Wu, and Bryce Miller. Just what were your expectations going in versus what we've seen? Because we were talking earlier, and Brian Wu was, in spring training, I was saying, I think that's their second best pitcher behind Logan. I think Brian Wu, and right now he's been their most consistent. He's been the best pitcher so far this season. But just overall, what you've seen from them is in relative to your expectations.
Yeah, obviously Bryce Miller, he talked about it. He's always been so good about kind of the transparency and being open with his thoughts and emotions. And he was pretty frustrated the other day. He got through 5 scoreless innings against a pretty bad Angels lineup. But he's had, I think, 9 walks in his last 2 starts. It's just not something we're used to seeing from Bryce Miller. His fastball velo was down to 92. So Bryce is trying to find it right now. It's not any one injury concern, not one overriding. It seems like his arm is fine. It's just more some fatigue. He said his back flared up the other day, right when he was warming up. It's just a lot of little things he said that are kind of nagging that are really keeping him down right now. I know he's frustrated. He expects more. He knows with George out and with Logan Gilbert out, he wants to be part of the solution here, wants to be one of these workhorse guys, and he's just not there yet at this early stage of the season, coming off such a terrific year for him last year. But, yeah, you're right. Brian Wu, I don't know if any of us could have predicted this a year ago. We knew he was really good after his rookie year in 23, but just with so many injury concerns and a guy who was more of a 5 and dive, right? He'd get up to 70 pitches and he was kind of done. He's really made himself into this durable workhorse. I wouldn't have any issues labeling him the ace right now of this staff. He's that good. He's that confident. He attacks guys as well as anyone. His first pitch strike rate last year was like 72% or something. It was the best in Major League history for a starting pitcher. He gets after these guys, and that's the one thing Mariners pitching coaches preach more than anything. Attack with a first pitch strike. You're in control. Get ahead. Get after these guys, and you're going to get good results. And Brian Wu has really epitomized that, really better than any Mariners pitcher maybe ever.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch. Adam, as always, great stuff, my friend. Thanks so much for taking the time, and enjoy it out there.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Adam.
There you go. There's Adam Jude of the Seattle Times. Does a great job covering the Seattle Mariners. And one other bit of news. Andres Munoz has been named the AL Reliever of the Month.
Wow.
How about
Look at
that?
all the awards coming our way.
Yeah, AL Reliever of the Month. He's been fantastic. 15 innings, 19 strikeouts, 11 saves, a 0 ERA. And for the National League, it's Robert Suarez, who goes 14 innings, 16 strikeouts, 12 saves, 0.64 ERA. So Munoz yet to give up a run. So congrats to him on a much-deserved, well-earned award for Andres Munoz, AL Reliever of the Month. Meanwhile, I saw this. I saw a couple of things on social media, Dave, where there were predictions for the upcoming NFL season, win totals for each team. And then I was looking at some of the publications, and I just put this one up from ESPN.com. But the projected win total, as far as like Vegas odds on the Seahawks, have them at 8.5, which I'm looking at going, wait. And there were other ones that had them in the 8, 7. I'm like, is the perception of this team they're going to be worse than last year? Because I don't. They were a 10-win team last year, and I understand you had a veteran quarterback. You knew what you were getting out of Geno, and you had DK. But I kind of expect more from this team this year than I did last year. I certainly don't expect a step back. Am I drinking the Kool-Aid?
I don't know. I guess if you're somewhere else and you're looking at, okay, well, the Sam Darnold question, that lingers. It's no question.
Yeah, it's a question.
It's
fair.
legit. It's legit. But I don't know. I just think, I think it's a good bet. I mean, 8.5.
I would take the over.
Yeah, I would too.
I mean, there's no way the line's worse than it was last. I think they're going to be better than they were last year.
Yeah, I don't expect them to get worse offensively. That's for sure.
And I expect the defense to be even that much better than it was last year.
Yeah, because it repaired from about the halfway point.
Yeah, I don't quite get it. I mean, I get the uncertainty at quarterback because I'm part of that. We've talked about Sam Darnold long before he was ever a Seahawk, and going, I don't know what's real with him. But overall, just as a team, I feel like this is going to be a better team. They're going to be better defensively, and they were very good in the second half. I think they get even better. And offensively, I think the new scheme, new coaches, I think the O-line is going to take a step forward. Are they going to be great? I don't know that that'll happen, but I don't think they'll be worse than they were last year.
I guess I'm trying to look at it from the standpoint of, okay, you're going into your second year with Mike McDonald, and this is the second offensive coordinator that you have.
Right.
So, and then the Sam Darnold question we talked about, but the new coaching staff, like whether or not that's going to work. And I think, that's something I've talked about all offseason, that's maybe the biggest move that they've made is getting the new offensive coordinator and the new coaching in there because, John told us they feel like they have the players, and this is before the draft. So, now you add Gray Zabel, and by all accounts, we haven't seen him do a lick on the field, right? I guess by now they've probably practiced, but, he just seems more and more awesome the more you hear from him, and that he is going to be a guy that's going to be around here for a really long time. So you have that. You have the new offensive coordinator. You have a quarterback who chose to come here because of the offensive coordinator in Clint Kubiak, and you brought in Rick Dennison, and so I think a lot of it is going to is going to be because of the coaching. But I guess if you're from somewhere else and you go, they can't figure out their offense, and now they got Sam Darnold, a guy who, what a lot of people might say choked or whatever the last two games of the season. I think he's the guy that they unlocked during the season, but I could see that if all of those things came together that you would say 8.5, but just being closer to it here, I'm like, I expect 10 or 11.
Yeah, because what was it last year? The average from the pundits, the national voices, was like a 6-win team.
Was it?
Right? We were looking at that.
Well,
I remember
you and I both predicted 10.
Yeah, we both said 10, but I think the national average was way down there. I remember having the same feeling, like, really? Why do you think they're going to be bad? Why are they going to be a step back team? And I feel the same way. Now I get it. The biggest question is your starting quarterback, the most important position on the field. At least that's my biggest question, and maybe that's theirs too, and that's why this is where it is. But if I were a gambler, I'd be taking the over on 8.5 wins.
Yeah, well,
every day.
I'll be interested what our texters think. 866-979-3776. They're so dumb. All they can text in about is beer. Like, you ask a beer question, and we get like 50 responses. So I don't know. But we got mean text, by the way, coming up here.
Dave
soon.
trying to inspire you there to say mean things. We'll see. I'm taking the over. I'll say that right now without having seen a single preseason game, a single practice. There's not even a finalized roster. They're barring major injury. That's always the caveat. But barring major injury, I'll take the over on 8.5. Easy every day.
360 says something intelligent. Letting Tyler go is the only thing I don't like so far.
Yeah? I didn't want to see DK go. I didn't want to see him go.
Yeah.
I know he was polarizing to a lot of fans. I love DK. I think he's a fantastic talent, and I would love to have seen him in this offense. But that's not to be. Meanwhile, Mariners broadcaster Gary Hill Jr. is going to join us live from Texas, give us a little preview of this upcoming series. That's coming your way next with Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Brock and Salk. Straight from Pierre, South Dakota, Brock. Gray, good morning. How are we feeling today?
Super excited to be a part of the Seahawks and the team that they do.
Are you still growing? Could we see a bigger Gray Zabel at some point?
Yeah, absolutely. And big thing about gaining weight is just steaks and squats. That's all you got to do to put on some pounds.
Steaks and squats. Well, and you could go from Bush Light to Bud Heavy if you need to.
Yeah, exactly. A few extra carbs.
Brock and Salk, morning 6 to 10 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman here from my friends at Harley Exteriors, my new friends. They're a local company serving all of Western Washington for the past 23 years. And I'm really excited to work with Harley Exteriors because they're my kind of people. I had Ray, Chris, and Nick out to my house just to see what they could do for us. You see, we've been in the same house for 24 years, and virtually every window in our home has a broken seal. And Harley Exteriors, they have an exclusive, high-quality Euro Vinyl Olympic Series window, and it's manufactured manufactured right here in Washington. And these windows are designed specifically for homes in the Pacific Northwest, helping to maximize energy, efficiency, and beauty. And it's a window you can trust to last the life of your home. And it's also very affordable with options like 0 payments and 0 interest up to 12 months for qualified buyers. Harley Exteriors, they're big sports fans. They're fans of the station. They're really excited to work with our listeners. And I'm proud to be working with Ray, Chris, and Nick at Harley Exteriors. It's a team you can get behind. So get in touch with Harley Exteriors for windows, doors, and more. They're right here in the Puget Sound. So give them a call at 833 Harley. That's 833 HARLEY, or you can go to harleyexteriors.com.
We've all been there, sleepless nights, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy knowing we're here for you. BayAlarm.com.
Need a new roof, a deck, siding, windows? Get up to $3,000 off any new installation. Hi, it's Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Home projects can add up fast, but we're here to help you save big. Book now and lock in up to $3,000 off in savings. That's $3,000 off any new installation. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com to schedule your free estimate today. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small, loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hey there, I'm Jack.
And I'm Stag.
We're just two deer that want to make sure you know it's deer season at your authorized John Deere dealer. The deer season that saves bucks. You know, like us.
Yeah, you can get $3,000 off select John Deere machines. No early wake-up calls or tree stands required.
Just a trip to your authorized dealer before June 2nd.
If you ask us, it's the only deer season worth celebrating.
Visit johndeere.com/deer season to find an authorized dealer and for complete finance details.
Need a break from everything? Escape to a place where anything is possible and the fun never stops. At Silver Reef Casino Resort, you'll discover world-class dining, championship caliber golf, and so much more. Come join the fun and see why we've been consistently rated one of the region's top destinations. Visit silverreefcasino.com to book your stay and discover all the exciting events and promotions we have in store for you. Silver Reef Casino Resort, located off I-5, exit 260.
Find out more at silverreefcasino.com.
Your favorite Seattle sports show is available anywhere you go through the Seattle Sports app. Brought to you by Fred Hutchinson Cancer Center Proton Therapy. Full shows and interviews, exclusive video and articles from the home of the Seahawks and Mariners. We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Watch your favorite show live at seattlesports.com.
As America's leading business lender, Bank of America is on your corner and in your corner, right here in Seattle. With $215 billion in business loans and over 3,700 business specialists across the nation, we help businesses thrive so communities prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We got mean text coming up in about 15 minutes, so you still got a bit of time at 866-979-3776 to get your mean texts in. Some have started to roll in, Dave. We'll get to those coming up after this conversation with our buddy who's on the Mariner broadcast. You know him, you love him. Gary Hill Jr. is with us. How are you, man?
What's up?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Do you want to be included in the mean texts?
No.
No, not at all.
Hey, how do you like that stadium there?
It's not my favorite.
Okay.
It's fine. I just, there's nothing unique about it that screams Texas Rangers to me. And generally, I'm not a huge fan of indoor baseball, and it's always indoor baseball here. On the plus side is, on a day like today, we know we're going to play. It is awful outside. It's been pouring all day. So between that and when we're in here in the summer and it's 130 degrees, that's probably better that we're inside. So all in all, it's fine, but not my favorite.
Okay, fair enough. I was just looking at the background behind you there. It looks cool. The shot looks good. It looks good. So
thank you.
Yeah,
yes,
it's all you.
I
really.
did a lot of work
Gary's
to make this happen. So,
Gary's really making that building
makes
shine.
the shot.
Yes. Oh yeah. Hey, my face. That's great. That's what you want to see.
How surprised are you by what this team's doing right now? We've been detailing all the injuries from Kirby to Logan to Robles to Luke Raley to Dylan Moore to Ryan Bliss and Matt Brash and I mean, the list is getting long. Yet 7 series wins in a row. What do you chalk it up to a new mentality from the offense with Seitzer and Edgar? Do you chalk it up to timely moments, guys coming through with runners on base the way they didn't last season? What do you think?
It's amazing when you think about it, because if you would have told me the Mariners would be where they're at right now, I would have said before the season, like, wow, the rotation must have been on a roll. They'd be dominating everybody on the mound, but it has been a different story. They've really done it on the backs of their offense. And I've been really impressed with this first month, especially with you just ran through it, all the injuries they've had to deal with. There's been a ton of adversity. There haven't been a lot of things that have gone to script. And for me, when I think about what has happened this month, it's been the offense, and it's been 2 things for me. They're walking a ton. They have the highest walk rate in baseball. It means they're getting on base all the time, and they're hitting homers. They have hit a ton of homers so far this year. They're towards the top in baseball in home runs. And in contrast to a couple teams, one the Mariners just saw and one the Mariners are seeing tonight. For example, the Angels, they hit home runs too. They're in the top 5. They don't get on base. You saw the home run at T-Mobile Park by Soler. 17 of their last 18 home runs were all solo home runs. And then you got a team like the Rangers. They're not getting on base either. They haven't, if you can believe this, they haven't hit a home run in 7 straight games. Which this day and age is actually hard to believe, especially when you kind of look at the names up and down their offense. But the combo of the things for me, they're on base all the time, and they're hitting home runs. And you can look back at the game log. You can see, hey, 2-run home run here, 3-run home run here. Look at the game 2 games ago. Polanco, a 2-run home run, a 3-run home run. Mariners put 5 on the board and win. I mean, it's been that. And it's helped that Cal and Polanco have combined for 19 so far this season, which has been pretty ridiculous.
Well, the other thing that stood out to me, Gary, was that he has as many Polanco, has as many strikeouts as home runs. I mean, that's amazing because you look at all of the guys around him, like Cal. I think it's 32 for him. 26, 34. I mean, yeah. What do you think? What do we owe this to from Jorge Polanco? By the way, not interested in seeing him play out in the field anymore. I mean,
right now, I don't think you want to touch anything. You just want to roll with Polanco exactly how it's going. It has been an all-time month for him. He's been unbelievable. In fact, it stood out a couple games ago. There was a pitch that caught some plate, a fastball, and he kind of fouled it off. And it stood out because, wow, it seems like everything that has touched plate, he has just bolted. Yeah. It's been unbelievable. He's had a couple of these months in his career. He's 2 different times hit 9 home runs in a month. It happened to be in back-to-back months in 2021. So maybe we'll see a follow-up here. But I think it's a combo of he's healthy, clearly, and he was not healthy last year. So there's that. But also, it's just one of those things that's you can't explain, where he is in an absolute groove, and everything he hits is hit hard somewhere. He's just turning on stuff, and it's homers, it's doubles. He's just cranking things into the gap. It has been unbelievable to watch because, he's not a qualified hitter because he's missed too much time. But if he were, he's right there with Aaron Judge in just about everything. And Aaron Judge has had an absolutely absurd month. So the fact that you can put Polanco right up there with what Judge is doing is pretty amazing.
What about the guys at the bottom of the order, the young guys? Talking about Leo Rivas, who's got a 5.13 on base, and I understand he hasn't played nearly as much, but he's been huge at getting on base. And Ben Williamson, I mean, do you look at both of these guys and say, this is great, we love it, but what's going to happen when the league adjusts to them? How do they adjust? Or do you think, no, this is I don't expect 5.13 on base percentage for Rivas, but is this... So, are they in the neighborhood roughly of what you could expect from these guys? How do you take their success so far?
Yeah, so I think the bottom of the order has been a big part of this thing so far for the Mariners when you look at 7 through 9. In fact, if you compare their 7 through 9 for other teams, 7 through 9, they have one of the best on-base percentages in baseball. And what's been great about that, we've seen a lot of different players, 7 through 9, especially with all the injuries. And JP was part of that. He was rolling with a 400 on base for a lot of the time. So that has been a lot of the story because they have turned things over. That's why Polanco seemingly bats with guys aboard every single time he comes up in the 2 spot. So there will be that. Guys aren't going to continue, whether you're a veteran like Polanco or whether you're a young player like Rivas, that's not going to continue the rest of the way. What you hope is when guys cool off, other guys get hot. And I think that's where the Julio conversation comes in when you talk about, hey, you can't expect Cal to slug 10 home runs this next month. You can't expect Polanco to hit 9. You can't expect Rivas to have a 500 on base. But maybe you're asking some other guys to pick up the slack a little bit. Yeah. And, Julio's one of those candidates. I think Randy has had a very underrated last month, but I still think there's room there to move to. So that's kind of what you hope.
That's a good point. Hey, Andres Munoz, just named American League Reliever of the Month. Watching him, Gary, and being there in person, it's always so much better being there in person and seeing how ridiculous he is. How's that been to watch?
It's been unbelievable. I don't know how anyone hits anything that he throws. And one of my favorite things, it's been very clear that there's hitters that go up there and are guessing on one pitch. Because with him, you've got the 2-seam, you got the 4-seam that can both be 100 miles per hour, and then you have the vicious slider. There's just no way going up there that you can try and hit one of those. So you can see guys eliminate 2 pitches and just wait on one. Inevitably, you see a swing when they get the one they weren't expecting, and just the feeble swings that we keep seeing. It's unbelievable. It's one of my favorite things so far this season. Just so many bad swings against him. He has been lights out. And the thing that I find so amazing, his strikeout rate is great. His ground ball rate is great. You would be a really good reliever rolling with either of those. The fact that he's putting both of those together, he makes it nearly impossible to do damage against. Because if he's not striking you out, you're putting the ball on the ground. Yeah. He's just been so dominant. You feel great. Even in a one-run game, you feel instantly better when he takes the mound that he's going to close this thing out. Like, he will get scored on at some point, I think. But when I watch him pitch, he makes you feel like, oh, it's never going to happen. He's just never going to get scored on again.
You're saying he's going to give up a run this year?
I don't know.
Why do you hate
I don't
him?
know. Like, my mind tells me it's going to happen. But when I watch him, it's like, I don't know. Maybe it won't.
Yeah, he's so fun to watch. And on top of it, maybe one of the sweetest, nicest guys you're ever going to meet in your life. I mean, just a quality human. Speaking of quality humans, that's Gary Hill Jr. Gary, we appreciate you as always. Have fun out there, man. Hopefully we're talking about 8 winning series in a row. How about that?
Yeah, that'd be really great. And hopefully the texts aren't too mean to you guys coming up.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't count on that one.
They're a bunch of idiots. They can't even spell.
Yes.
There you go. Dave's inspiring the meanness.
Gary.
We appreciate
Stay
you
away
guys.
from Gary.
There you go. There's Gary Hill Jr., part of your Mariners broadcast. And got the Mariners and the Rangers coming up. We'll turn you over to the pregame show at 4 p.m. But before that, we got Mean Text. So you still got a couple of minutes left at 866-979-3776, powered by Mac and Jack's Brewing Company. We'll see what kind of viciousness we're going to unveil. Coming up next with Wyman and Bob, this is Seattle Sports on 710.
Blue 88 on Brock and Salk.
Nicky Manwari, how do you see them using him?
I think they'd love to put him at that second level. Does it allow them a little freedom, Salk, to put Spoon back outside a corner, right, where you can have some real strength with Reek and him and this dude around the line of scrimmage cleaning stuff up on aisle 9? Yeah, man, there's a lot of excitement about just molding that kind of talent.
Blue 88 every day at 7:45, answering 3 football questions as only Brock Heward can.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman for Swedish Cyberknife. You know, we had Andy Ryder. He's the mayor of Lacey, and he's a Swedish Cyberknife patient, along with Dr. Landis from Swedish Cyberknife in studio last week. And a couple of things that stood out about Swedish Cyberknife treatment. Number one, it only takes 5 sessions. Andy was able to complete treatment in 1 week, Monday through Friday, while continuing to work full time. And each treatment session lasts less than an hour. He was able to remain comfortable during treatment, wearing street clothes, didn't experience any side effects other than mentioning he was a little tired. But you compare that with other treatment methods where you have surgery or have to have a catheter. I mean, it's night and day. Also, it was really cool to see the relationship between Andy and Dr. Landis. Andy held him in such high regard and spoke with incredible respect. And Dr. Landis is a multiple-time recipient of the Seattle Top Doctor Award. So we talk about building a sports team and trying to find stars. Swedish Cyberknife truly has that. It's an all-pro roster of doctors and world-renowned experts in their field. Swedish Cyberknife treats patients from all over the state, and you don't need a physician referral. You can just reach out to them directly. So if you've been diagnosed with prostate cancer, go to swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife.
Get a taste of that winning feeling before the buzzer sounds with ESPN Bet's early victory promo. Simply place a pregame moneyline bet on any NBA playoff game, and if the team you back goes up by 20 or more points at any point in the game, your bet will get paid out early. Available throughout the NBA playoffs at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Download the app today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on Green Bay's team. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-838-6161. That's 800-838-6161. 800-838-6161.
This is the story of the one.
As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Nia.
Hi, Nia. It's Jennifer. Did you know that Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, I work here.
Okay. I was just double checking. Get it?
Because Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, you get me, Nia.
You could say that I double get you.
I guess we've taken it too far.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Matt Coker from West Coast Men's Health. Has Viagra stopped working for you? Do you hate the side effects? If you've taken Viagra for any length of time, you already know that pills are not the solution to ED. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. No pills, no shots, no surgery. We can also treat Peyronie's disease. Our non-invasive treatment for ED is painless and highly effective. We have treated thousands of men just like you. Stop living with this problem and do something about it. Do yourself a favor, do your partner a favor, and call us today.
Call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com. HSA cards welcome and
time today. Might not do it again. Wyman not blinking for the entire chat with Gary Hill was deeply unsettling. Gary Hill Jr. and Adam Jude. If you guys missed any part of today's show, you can find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Mariners and Rangers coming your way next. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll talk to you on Monday right here with Wyman and Bob.
For Down Territory, going inside the game with former Cougs and Seahawks wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
Nicky Manwari has been compared to Cam Chancellor, but have you heard another one that you think may be a better fit?
He's a mix between Cam Chancellor and a Kyle Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton is a bit better when it comes to covering, and Cam Chancellor was just that pit bull roaming the block, ready to fight anybody who goes across the middle of the field. He has a little bit of both in him.
For Down Territory, every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on Green Bay's team. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Worried about your battery and the heat? We get it. You don't want to get stranded somewhere with a car that feels like an oven. We've got you covered at AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. Our free battery testing and charging service can help. And if you need a battery, we'll help you find a new one, no problem. Power through with free battery testing and charging at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Hey there, I'm Jack.
And I'm Stag.
We're just two deer that want to make sure you know it's deer season at your authorized John Deere dealer. The deer season that saves bucks. You know, like us.
Yeah, you can get $3,000 off select John Deere machines. No early wake-up calls or tree stands required.
Just a trip to your authorized dealer before June 2nd.
If you ask us, it's the only deer season worth celebrating. Visit johndeere.com/deer season to find an authorized dealer and for complete finance details.
Dave Wyman here for my friends at Harley Exteriors, a local company serving all of Western Washington for the past 23 years. I'm really excited to work with Harley Exteriors because they're my kind of people. I had Ray, Chris, and Nick out to my house just to see what they could do for us. You see, we've been in the same house for 24 years, and virtually every window in our home has a broken seal. Harley Exteriors has an exclusive high-quality Euro vinyl Olympic Series window manufactured right here in Washington, and these windows are designed specifically for homes in the Pacific Northwest, helping to maximize energy, efficiency, and beauty. It's a window you can trust to last the life of your home. Very affordable with options like 0 payments and 0 interest up to 12 months for qualified buyers. Through April, buy one window and get the second for 40% off. Harley Exteriors are big fans of the station, and they're excited to work with our listeners, and I'm proud to be working with Ray, Chris, and Nick. It's a team you can get behind. Call 833-HARLEY or go to harleyexteriors.com.
We've all been there. Sleepless nights, mind racing, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Video security, burglar alarms, fire alarms, access control, 24/7 monitoring, and more. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy, knowing we're here for you, your people, and your business. Visit bayalarm.com to talk to a local security expert. Bay Alarm, we got you.
The Puyallup RV Show, May 1st through 4th. 400 new and used RVs, plus manufactured homes. Over 1,000 floor plan options. It's your best chance to save all year. Browse the exhibits, chat with the experts, free parking. Tickets at PuyallupRVShow.com.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
Need a new roof now? With State Roofing and Exteriors, you can get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's right. Protect your home now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
Protect your home and auto with a bundle from Progressive so you can stop worrying about them and invent new things to worry about, like snakes in your bedroom. Sure, that sounds incredibly irrational, but now that we've mentioned it, you are a little worried. The odds of one snake, let alone snakes plural, are so slim. But you might want to check. Oh, you're not near your bedroom. Guess you'll just have to sit there and worry about it. So let Progressive protect your home and auto, because you've got enough to worry about. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
This is Secret Clinical dominating extra stinky stress sweat. And this is regular deodorant. Secret Clinical in a heat wave. Oh, what a beautiful day. This is regular deodorant. Ugh, I can't. Secret Clinical with workout sweat. Let's run another marathon. And regular deodorant. How much more? Secret is the GOAT. Because nothing fights sweat better. Stay fresher under pressure.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and every